Hey, Weekly Walk viewers. I am here with Laura Borgehsi. That was my sad attempt at Italian, Laura, who is VP of Growth at Gympass, but more importantly, an OpenView advisor. And I see you got your OV blue on. It's like you planned.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are always at the top of my mind, you know?
Yes, I love that. I love that. And we are here in, well, I suppose New York is not your home, your home, but your home away from home, because home is where for you, or where are you from?
Home is Tuscany. Home is
Okay.
Tuscany. My entire family is there. I actually
Oh,
just recently came back from spending
oh,
a month and a half there, working
sounds
from
so
there,
nice.
which, during the summer is, I mean, I cannot complain. It's really
Yeah,
good.
I can
But yes, now I'm
imagine.
in New York.
Okay, perfect. We're in New York together. Here we
Yeah,
are, like
here we
overlooking the
go.
city. I would say, so you're like living real life under the Tuscan sun, the movie. I am very
Very
jealous.
much.
Oh, all
Hmm.
right. We'll have to talk offline about some recommendations for me when I get to Italy. But all right. So you recently, and we were just chatting about it, but you recently left Mongo. You were there for 2 years and joined Gympass, which is less B2B software and definitely has more of a B2C component, but it's a world's largest wellness platform. And pre-pandemic was not really a digital first company. And then obviously with everything, the pandemic hit, people had to change their business model. And you guys launched 4 new services and have seen this crazy growth. And then you joined as VP of Growth. So I would love to just hear, what that role, you hear of a lot of VP of Growth roles at B2B companies. And I know there is a B2B component with you guys, but why did they bring on, you now, and what does that role look like at Gympass?
It's interesting, Casey, because yes, I think it is probably the impetus for bringing me in. Was started because of the much bigger focus on the digital product, but overall I want to say, to use something that we love very much, is like
Yeah.
it's very much a bigger product-led motion at the end
Okay.
of the day. So I
Yeah.
do believe that like the company has moved towards more product-led principles, one of
Okay.
them being a strong focus on experimentation. And definitely this is one of the reasons why I joined.
Great.
There is a strong experimentation culture that we
Yeah.
just need to keep building and deploying across the entire company, just to again supercharge, if you will, the growth that the company is already experiencing. And then probably another big reason is that Gympass is extremely well known in other regions like
Yeah.
Europe or Latin America,
Yeah.
and the US is the next big market
Okay.
where we definitely have a big upside and a huge opportunity. So probably the fact that I do have an international background
Yeah.
when it comes to having worked with American companies in Europe, in California, and now here in New York does give me a little bit of an edge that I can bring to the company.
That's great. Yeah, because I was saying I had not heard of you folks until you joined, but now I'm excited to do some research. But maybe get OpenView hooked up with them. So everyone definitely check them out. But all right, so I alluded to this earlier, but you are one of our advisors, and we're always introducing you to early stage founders, and so I know you get a ton of questions around product led growth and how to start with PLG. And I
Mm.
would love, in a shortened sense, because I'm sure you could go on for a while about this, but how do you respond to that question?
It's interesting because yes, Casey, I do. First of all, I love meeting all the founders and
Good.
startup people who get interested in growth. Most of them
Yeah.
actually do have it, naturally, because when you are creating a company from scratch, even without knowing, you are already applying some of those principles that then have been codified into product-led growth more
Yeah.
specifically. But when I do get asked that question, I always respond that product-led growth is not a huge team, or is not the latest experimentation platform that you want to deploy. It's really about a mindset first, which is being as scientific as possible into how you
Yeah.
approach developing the user experience for your users and your product for your users. So it is the usual loop of check the data that you have, understand what are the areas that could use some testing and experimentation to get better,
Yeah.
formulate formulate a strong hypothesis, go off and test it out, test your idea and see whether or not, check the data, check the results, and then do it all over again. And then keep this strong optimization and loop going on and on. That's how you achieve sort of like growth, as in like scientific growth, as opposed to what I like to say, like more intentional growth, as opposed to, growth because it happens and you don't know why.
Yeah. Unintentional growth versus intentional growth. Awesome. Yes. And we love that you love meeting with stars. So we're going to keep sending them to you too. And my last question for you is, what is one thing about you that most people might not know and that they will know after this interview?
Yeah, everybody will know.
Everyone.
I want to say probably like in 2017, I took an entire year off and traveled and did a round the world tour. That's probably only a few friends know it. And
that's awesome.
The reason behind it is that when I was in college, I won a spot in, the European Erasmus program, which is basically an exchange program to go study somewhere else. But I was like, oh, no, I need to get my degree on time, cannot lose time, I sort of like refused it. So all the way through college, my master's, work, I decided, okay, now 2017, perfect time to hit pause and just go travel.
That's great. What was your favorite, I guess my 3A, what was your favorite spot? Did you have a favorite city that you went to?
I want to say I'm gonna pick two for two different reasons.
Okay.
I went to French Polynesia. That's where the whole tour started.
Okay.
And the nature is just stunning.
Yeah.
So I would pick that, and I also spent a lot of like a month and a half in the Middle East. Visited Jordan, Israel, Lebanon, and just. I would pick that as a second one because of the cultural liveliness you find there.
Yeah, I have never been to either of those, but I have heard that. And we have some great companies in Israel that I
highly recommend it. Yeah,
I promise I'll come visit at some point. So now it's out in public. So
you should.
The View portfolio. Awesome, Laura. It was so great to have you finally. Weekly Walk. I feel like it's been a long time in the making that we got to do this. So thank you for joining me, and Weekly Walk viewers. We'll see y'all soon. Bye, guys.